where philosophy begins. Hi, my name's Dave, and welcome to The Daily Stoic, 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hasselman. Today is March 1st, where philosophy begins. An important place to begin in philosophy is this: a clear perception of one's ruling principle. Epictetus, Discourses 1.26:15. Philosophy is intimidating. Where does one start? With books? With lectures? With the sale of your worldly possessions? None of these things. Epictetus is saying that to become a philosopher, one becomes a philosopher when they begin to exercise their guiding reason and start to question the emotions and beliefs and even language that others take for granted. It is thought that an animal has self-awareness when it fully recognizes itself in a mirror. Perhaps we could say the beginning of our journey into philosophy when we became aware of the ability to analyze our own minds. Can you start with that step today? When you do, you'll find that from it we really come alive, that we live lives. To paraphrase Socrates, that they are actually worth living. Yeah, I like that. So March's title is awareness. So for the next month, I'm going to be talking about awareness, and I think it's a great kind of start for the month. And also, happy birthday to my brother. My brother's birthday is today, so Brian, happy birthday to you. But yeah, so understanding, I think it's when you begin this kind of journey of philosophy, or even the journey of your own personal self-discovery, I think it's a big journey of self-love, of understanding why and how you are, and why you think the way you think, right? Like having that kind of self-awareness, so you're not just caught up in old programming, or the programming that you were growing up with, right? You know, the emotional traumas and everything else that you happened as a kid, when Johnny took your toy and then it caused you to cry, so then it created this emotional pattern inside of yourself, right? Like even those little traumas. So at least for me, it took a lot. It took me to getting to a breaking down point to really just start to look at my thoughts, actions, and words, and recognizing that they have a lot of value and a lot of power. But that power isn't anyone else but myself, and taking personal responsibility of my thoughts, of my actions, of my words, and what I'm doing, instead of just throwing out, just spewing whatever. It's really coming down and finding those guiding principles. And for me, because in the first part of the reading there, this is, you start philosophy when you kind of define your guiding principles. And my principles come down to service. Well, I break it down like this, of what it means to be a man, right? Because for me, a lot of this journey has been about understanding what it means to be a man in the 21st and this new millennium, right? What does it mean to be a man in this day and age? And how to be a whole and fulfilled man. And for me, it comes down to three kind of main principles of what makes a man, and it spells out man. So it's maturity. A man is someone who's mature. He's responsible for himself and understands his responsibility. Cleans his room, right? An immature kid doesn't clean his room, right? A mature adult cleans their room, does the dishes, handles the responsibility, and with the maturity of not oh, I can't believe I have to do it. Okay, we got to go do it. Let's go do it. And has a sense of responsibility. The second one is assertiveness. This is one that I've always kind of struggled with when I was a kid. So I was always the nice guy, right? I was always the pushover, constantly people pleasing and being really kind of letting people take advantage of me because I had no self-worth, because I wasn't mature. But assertiveness means not to be aggressive, but to assert your boundaries, and recognizing that you have value as well, and that you're not going to let people walk over you. You're this is my boundary, and I'm going to assert it. And even in situations where you don't need to assert boundaries, but you can assert yourself in situations like when I was like I learned how to go talk to complete strangers. Like I asserted myself to go find a date. Like knowing how to present myself with holding my ground and holding myself as a strong human being and not allow myself to be pushed over. That's what I mean by assertive. And then the last one, which I think also is of the man analogy, is nurturing. Because I think it comes down to ultimately learning how to love yourself, learn how to love others, learning how to have that caringness to care for others. That humanity, it's a touch of the feminine, but in a feminine way that is the powerful father, right? The one that like provides and protects and like cares for. So when like kid scrapes his knee, like you take care of him, like, you know, you make sure that they're okay. And it's, you know, it's the combination of being mature, assertive, and nurturing, right? Those three are kind of, and service are my kind of main kind of qualities that for me are my guiding principles in philosophy and guiding principles in my life. I've tried how I kind of live. And do I am perfect all the time? Absolutely not. But this is, you know, I have the awareness so that when I make mistakes, I can recognize it, not beat myself up too much about it, and actually make adjustments and changes so I don't fall into the same patterns. And it's tough because it's easy to fall into old patterns and old routines, especially ones that are ingrained for a long time. The only way we can really reprogram those programs and emotional responses is by doing new ones, right? We can't delete the program, but we can record over the tape, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's all I got for today's. And I would love to know, what are your guiding principles in the comments below. That'd be really cool. I'd love to have a conversation with you down there. Don't forget to check out all the other daily Stoic videos. Over here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Yeah, if you know someone else who would be interested in philosophy, please share this on. Let's get this message out there. And once again, thank you so much for sticking around this long in the video. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow, and you have a great, if not better, day.